gym. Every punch thrown a battle from within. They see the glory, don't know the grind. Leave the weakness, leave it all behind. Let's go! Again! Harder!
They said boxing had never seen anything like him. Not Ali, not Sugar Ray, not Leonard. Because Roy Jones Jr. didn't fight by the rules of boxing. He rewrote them. Hands down, reflexes impossible, speed that looked supernatural. And for years, the world watched a fighter who seemed untouchable. But greatness comes with a price, and eventually, even Superman falls. Roy Levesta Jones Jr. was born January 16, 1969, in Pensacola, Florida. His father, Roy Jones Sr., was a Vietnam veteran and former boxer, and he trained his son with brutal intensity. No softness, no excuses, no mercy. Young Roy grew up in a world where mistakes were punished instantly. His father believed pressure created greatness, and while it built a champion, it also built fear, discipline, and emotional scars. But inside that pressure, something extraordinary was developing. Roy's speed was unnatural. His reflexes looked impossible. Even as a teenager, he moved differently than everyone else. By the late 1980s, the boxing world already knew his name. And then came the Olympics. Seoul, South Korea. Roy Jones Jr. entered the Olympic Games as one of the most gifted amateur fighters alive. He dominated every opponent, humiliated them, destroyed them. And in the gold medal match against Park Si-hun, Roy landed punch after punch after punch. The entire world saw it. Commentators saw it. Fans saw it. Even Park Si-hun himself knew it. But when the judges announced the winner, they gave the fight to Park. One of the most controversial robberies in boxing history. Even the crowd booed. Roy Jones Jr. had been cheated out of Olympic gold. But that night, the world also learned something important. This young man was destined for greatness. Roy turned professional in 1989, and almost immediately, he became must-watch television because nobody fought like Roy Jones Jr. He broke every textbook rule in boxing and made it work. Hands low, leaning away from punches, countering from impossible angles. He fought off instinct, pure reflex, pure confidence. By the mid-1990s, Roy was becoming a superstar. Then came James Toney, one of the biggest fights of his career, an undefeated champion, a feared technician, one of the most skilled fighters alive. Many believed Toney would expose Roy. Instead, Roy dominated him, outboxed him, outspeed him, outclassed him. It was a masterclass. And suddenly, the boxing world realized Roy Jones Jr. wasn't just good, he might be generational. For the next several years, Roy Jones Jr. looked unbeatable. Virgil Hill, Bernard Hopkins, Montel Griffin, Antonio Tarver, Felix Trinidad, one after another. He embarrassed world champions. Roy moved faster than human reaction. He would dodge punches with his hands behind his back, then explode with combinations nobody can see coming. Commentators struggled to describe him because technically, he shouldn't have been able to do what he was doing. And in 2003, Roy did something almost nobody thought possible. He moved up to heavyweight, not cruiserweight, heavyweight, and challenged John Ruiz for the WBA heavyweight championship. Roy Jones Jr. started his career at middleweight. Now he was facing giants, and somehow he won. Roy outboxed Ruiz, became heavyweight champion, and made history. The first former middleweight champion in over 100 years to win a heavyweight title. At that moment, many believe Roy Jones Jr. was the greatest fighter on earth. Maybe even one of the greatest ever. But greatness doesn't last forever. After heavyweight, Roy dropped back down in weight, and something changed. The speed wasn't quite the same. The reflexes slowed just enough. And for a fighter whose entire style depended on reaction time, that was dangerous. Then came Antonio Tarver, the rematch. Second round, Tarver landed a left hand that shocked the boxing world. Roy collapsed to the canvas. For the first time in years, the invincible Roy Jones Jr. looked human. More losses came. Knockouts, criticism, questions. Fans who once called him Superman now watched him struggle against time itself. But Roy kept fighting because fighting was all he had ever known. Despite the losses later in his career, nothing can erase what Roy Jones Jr. accomplished. Because at his peak, there may never have been another fighter like him. Roy Jones Jr. wasn't just winning fights. He was redefining what boxing could look like. Speed, creativity, instinct, athleticism. For an entire generation, Roy made the impossible seem normal. He inspired fighters around the world. And even today, when fans debate the most talented boxer ever, one name always enters the conversation. Roy Jones Jr., the man they couldn't touch. Every legend has a story, and every king leaves a legacy. This is Ring King
Champion!
Chronicles.
Forever!
Who should enter the ring next? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for more.